Okay, guys, welcome back to Celestial Force. But this, I guess, is a new series that I'm starting. I am calling it the species species encyclopedia. Which in this series, I will explain and explain all these species to the humans. Every species that's ever existed, all the planets of this dimension, and all the planets of every other dimension, which there are exactly 52. And I'm the magician, the person watching over this. So, yeah. So, let's get started. This time we're talking about with the Earth-born, or Earth-originated species, the Homo sapien, or the human race, which started about 10,000 years ago in the Paleolithic Age, where they were just Neanderthals, basically, where they weren't very smart. They created stuff like fire and the wheel, and then it came into the Neolithic Age, where civilization started, farming started. They got even more better tools than what the Paleolithic did with their just simple stone and wooden tools. They started civilizations like ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia, which in ancient Egypt, people believed not in one god like they do now, but many gods and goddesses. Then the birth of Christ happened about 33 BC, about 0 BC, because BC means before Christ. And our normal time, since it's 2016 AD, which means after the death of Christ. So, yeah, then after Christ died, then time started moving on from the 1700s to the mid-1900s. Slavery was going on, and then it was abolished in 1896. But the reason I said to the 1900s is because African Americans or black people still weren't appreciated or had as much right to things as whites or Caucasians or Americans did until the mid-1960s, whenever they got those rights back from a man named Martin Luther King Jr. And then in the 1980s was probably the last big thing that I'm going to talk about in human history, because then they had a huge increase of technological advances like the cell phone, scientific advances like furthering the discovery of space and the atom and all of that. They created the cell phone, the internet, all of that kind of thing. Which is absolutely amazing by how long it's taken the human race to develop these technologies. Because most species, like the Time Lords, have only created their major technology, or the technology of the humans have right now, about in the first couple of hundred of years of the species, after the species were created. But humans took thousands of years to do that, which is absolutely amazing by how many times you have won the battle, have survived the battle against interdimensional beings, which you can't really see, or aliens, but your governments have covered those up. But some people believe in magic, some people don't, because the human eye can't really see magic. Since I am half vampire, I have a bunch of magic, which you can see whenever I snap my fingers, fire will come into my hands, but you will not be able to see it. Some of you humans may be able to, because you're not fully human. Now, if you see fire in my hand, that means you're not human. So, ready? Go. If you see a thing of fire in my hand, then you are not human. Now, these species that are only a little bit human still won't be able to see it, because that human side kicking in. They will know there's something there, but they won't be able to see it. So, yeah. Now, the human race in the other 51 dimensions there's actually only 51 dimensions with the human race in them. Dimension 27 doesn't have the human race in them, because the human race was never created, and the Silurians and Sea Devils continued their reign, because they never went underground in hiding. But I'll talk about the Sea Devils and the Silurians in 2 different episodes for each species, the same as Time Lords and vampires. So, yeah. If you guys would also like to see a history of magic throughout the universe, I can also do that. Carianites will have their own species section too, but I don't really know much about the Carianites because they are extinct. They went extinct thousands of years ago. So yeah. So and see me on my other channel, or see someone who looks exactly like me, named Dylan Howell, in the YouTube channel called Jeff the Tennis Ball, I believe it is, which there will be a link for that down in the description below. And also, since this is Celestial Force, remember to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Jeff the Tennis Ball, like and comment in the description below. This has been The Magician, and always remember, magic is believing. The real magic is in believing that these things exist. And always, thanks for watching.